was just thinking over the cultural impact that the New Zealand killings have, not only to the New Zealand culture, but the culture worldwide, and how we are responding to the culture in various countries and as various individuals. Well, first of all, I want to say the killing is horrible. Killing people like that shouldn't be tolerated anywhere in the world by anybody. You know, we all bleed red, and to go in and slaughter a bunch of people because he didn't like the immigration policies of New Zealand is really disgusting. Okay? If it happened here in the States, we should be really disgusted. I mean, it should be really traumatic to any culture, especially to a free culture, especially in the United States and New Zealand, where freedom of religion, not freedom from religion, but freedom of religion is well known. So that's the first thing I want to say on this. Second thing is, though, how we blame others for what happened. You know, I've heard Donald Trump, our president, being blamed for what happened. Jeannie Shapiro on Fox News is part of the blame for what happened, claiming that she is anti-Muslim. And all she said was that we have to be careful that the House of Representatives is allowing hijabs now to be worn by Muslim women, and they changed the rules to satisfy this Muslim woman's needs to follow Sharia law. And she questioned whether or not this idea of Sharia law is a slippery slope. And if you don't think it is, go into Michigan, where there are a lot of Muslims, and these towns have converted to Sharia law. And normal police officers won't even go into certain areas of the town. So she couldn't be too far off, but yet she was being blamed for what happened somewhere else at some other time. And the blame is totally on the perpetrator who held the gun. It's nobody else's fault. It's his fault. He deserves the blame. But somehow or another, our culture wants to blame everybody that don't agree with them. Now, there was another response to this by a lawmaker in Australia, a fellow named Anning. And he tried to hold a press conference to explain himself, and he was attacked by a 17-year-old. I guess they got into a big fight. And let me go down here. I'm reading the article right here. I'll read what Anning said that everyone found so offensive. Now, first of all, before we get into what he said that was offensive, he said that what happened was horrific. It was a terrorist attack, and it shouldn't have happened. And it shouldn't be tolerated anywhere. But here is the thing that got everybody's shorts in a bunch. While Muslims may be the victim today, usually they are the perpetrators. Worldwide, Muslims are killing people in the name of their faith on an industrial scale. Now, before we get all crazy here and start browbeating him for saying that, we need to think about what's really happening in the world today. Let me find another article here for you. Okay, the headline of this article is Nigerian Muslim militants kill 1, no, 5, no, 10, no, 25, no, 50. That's what was killed in New Zealand. 50? No. Try 120 Christians in 3 weeks. Now, you probably haven't even heard of this group. You probably haven't even heard of the incident where they've killed all 120 of these people. The recent death toll of Christians in Nigeria has reached 120 with this week's slaughter of more than 50 by Fulani Muslim militants in Kaduna State of Nigeria. They destroyed 143 homes, and in one incident this last week killed 52 people and wounding a dozen others. The assailants reportedly split into 3 groups. the first of which fired upon the people, the second set fire to buildings, and the third chased down people fleeing from the scene. Victims of the assault included women and children. Now, this has been happening, as the guy from Australia said, on an industrial scale. And nobody is reporting this. Nobody is up in arms about this. Yet, when 50 Muslims get killed in New Zealand, everybody thinks the world's coming to an end. I'm sorry. One is as bad as the other. Neither should have happened. But our culture is trying to divide us. Our politicians is trying to divide us. Our politicians aren't looking at the total picture. We need to do something about the guy in New Zealand, and we already have. He's been arrested. We need to do something about our culture that drives someone like him to do what he did. And we need to do, on the same level, deal with the Muslim problem around the world. But nobody wants to say that. If you say that, you must be some sort of racist, or you're anti-Muslim, or there's something wrong with you. Well, that's not true. Islam is a problem. Now, the Muslim down the street, he may not be a problem. You know, he may be one of the good guys. I don't know. But there is an Islamic problem in the world. And it's just as bad as what the New Zealand got. In fact, it's worse. They're killing thousands. They're killing thousands in the name of their religion, in the name of Allah. Yeah. It's just amazing how we fail to blame the perpetrator. But we're real ready to blame an individual who says something we don't want to hear. Well, that's the Cultural Corner for this week. And I hope you'll do some critical thinking on these issues. Because it's a problem. And we need to get it settled. We're never going to solve the Muslim problem if we take an attitude like this, that, well, it's not really a problem. We got to let that alone for some reason. We can only deal with when Muslims are killed. No, we need to deal with when anybody is killed, where everybody is being slaughtered. We need to be there, and we need to be doing what we can to stop it. And it's a cultural situation. It's not a gun control situation. It's not a situation of Christians or Muslims. It's a cultural situation that needs to be dealt with. All right, that's it for this week, guys. Talk to you later.